Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream, squids. I am super unclear on whether or not I did this right. It's a little bit RNG at this point. Oh, you can't see my squid. Wait, let me rotate a little. There we go. Importante, muy importante. My little soldier squid. All right, so I'm gonna try something new. I've never done this before, but I thought it could be fun to do a Reddit React stream because I am only very new to the Reddit world. I don't know how to use Reddit. I just made a thumbnail. I hope you guys could see it. I don't know if it worked. I don't know if anything worked. I don't know what's real anymore. I tried to find a long post to put in my thumbnail, so I haven't actually read these even though it's like grayed out. Yeah, that's about it. Please let me know if this is working. Hello! Okay, I see That Guy Pie and Finishing Plume. It is so nice to see some familiar names. I have no idea how this works. Does everything seem to be working all right, like on your end? Does this seem like a functional stream? If I go to YouTube, it looks like it's delayed, but maybe that's just me not knowing what I'm doing. You know what? Psh, she'll be right. All right, we're gonna jump right in with some Reddit reactions. Yes, I've got full streamer mode. Look at me on YouTube with a little thumbnail and a soldier squid. What else could you want? I'm a true YouTube streamer now. So I've made, on my Discord, I've made a schedule and it's got Tube Tuesdays. So that's a cute alliteration. Oh my God, I can hear myself. Where am I? Oh, there we are. Okay. That's a cute alliteration to remember when I'll be on YouTube. You seem like a very functional person. Well, I'm glad I have given off that illusion successfully. I'm a little bit of a Houdini when it comes to giving the impression that I have a functional semblance of a lifestyle. I got takeout for dinner, so that's a point in the column. However, it was Nando's, which as far as takeout goes is not as unhealthy. There was at least one green thing on there, so we love that. At least one green thing. You can get like green gummy bears, but I promise this was not a gummy bear. It was like a lettuce, I think it's called. Maybe it's like French or something, lettuce, something like that. Anyway, let's jump right in. I don't know how to use Reddit. I think hot sounds good, right? Let's jump in with hot. All right. Am I the asshole? Also, I don't know what most of these acronyms mean. I know what this one is because it like matches that, but I've seen some of these things before. So I know that one's me, it's not the asshole. There's one that's like Esh or something, E-S-H. I don't know what Esh is. So let's figure it out together. Oh yeah, a lot of bellas. You could hear a lot of bellas otherwise. All right, am I the asshole for staying true to my threats after my dad died? Okay, my dad died unexpectedly last week and my sister Jess and I lost our mum last year due to a mix of cancer and the virus. Oh man, that's really sad. That's like 2 deaths in 1 year. I've never really had anyone close to me die, so I haven't experienced that yet myself, but I imagine it sucks enough having one person die, let alone having 2 die within close proximity to each other. From how our family acted in the past over scavenging over dead people's things, both Jess and I decided to send out a family memo on no one is to enter or take anything from our parents' house until we get there. Both Jess and I work on the West Coast, so it takes some time to get there with all of our kids and family. I mean, that seems fair enough. Like, if they're the daughters, you know, they should be part of the whole situation, like figuring out who gets what. I saw several notifications from my parents' Ring doorbell, and I'm a lawyer. Fun fact, my family recently installed a Ring doorbell pretty much solely because my siblings and I wouldn't stop nagging mum for pictures of the dog, and she got sick of it. So now they have a Ring doorbell so we can stalk him. Wait, how do I move this down? You guys can't even see it. See, it's a little bit of a work in progress here. There we go. Okay. So now we can just log on and see my doggo wandering around, living his best life. I just think that's hilarious. It's not for security, it's not for convenience, it's because they get too annoyed at us always asking for dog pics. I reminded my family we will prosecute. Jess and I are on the same page. Jess gets to my parents' house first and notices stuff is missing, and my parents had security cameras and an Alexa show. It's shown my cousin taking stuff from the house. So Jess did what we agreed on and called the police, and 2 of our cousins were arrested. I mean, yeah, that seems fair enough. You told them what you were doing and they went ahead and ignored that, and then, you know, they fucked around and found out. I'm just saying. Am I allowed to swear on YouTube? Surely you can, right? People swear all the time. Okay, anyway, Let me know if I'm not allowed to. Cabbage. Because it was over $1,000, both are looking at felonies. My cousin said my dad promised him this stuff, and I have my dad's will making me the executor of the estate. I mean, if the cousin, like, really believes that, why didn't you go about it through the proper channels? Like, talk to the daughters, you know? You know? I feel like it's just not that hard to be, like, a normal human, right? Like, the things people get in trouble for, the things like people are like, hey, that was kind of annoying. It's not hard to not do something that's just, like, full, like, asshole mode, you know? Like, I feel like the best kinds of conflicts are one where it's like, hey, like, when you made this joke, it made me feel a little bit uncomfortable because of this history that you probably didn't know about. I'm just letting you know, like, I'm a little bit sensitive to that kind of thing or whatever, you know? That's, like, it's not a real conflict. It's just like, hey, you know, that's a thing you didn't know about, or maybe you did know about, you're a little insensitive to, and now you know. And the other person's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I didn't realize. Or they're like, hey, I don't even know you, so I don't care, and, you know, there you go. And that's, like, both are acceptable depending on your proximity. There's no, like, objective one way to be in the world. But as far as things like this, where it's like they went and stole stuff and then are complaining about the consequences, it's like there were so many better ways of handling this. Like, there's no subtlety, there's no nuance about this, there's no two ways about it. You're just clearly in the wrong. You could have just dealt with it better. If you truly felt like you had a leg to stand on with, like, the whole thing of, you know, whether or not things were promised to you or whatever, if you truly felt like you did, then go through the proper channels. But the fact you didn't, I mean, seems like it speaks for itself. I told him he should have waited to file a claim with the estate, and everyone was warned about what would happen. Fair enough. Jess and I don't have the best relationship with our extended family, and we are not dropping the charges. Because of this drama, Dad was quietly cremated with no service, and we plan to hold one when scattering our parents' ashes at Jess's house in a tree planted for them. My last living grandma is upset about it, but sided with my cousins and aunts, saying we are too tough on them having them arrested. Man, it's a shitty situation, because obviously, like, people have died, and it's, like, the worst time to be fighting with your family because you want everyone to come together, but I'm strong not the asshole in this one. Yeah. I like looking at comments. YouTube videos, Reddit, wherever it is. Comments are always where it's at. That's not true. That's not true. Comments can be very toxic. That is a straight up lie. Don't listen to me. Executioner of the estate. I caramba. They did with my grandma and the camera. Oh my gosh. My grandma passed away when I was in year 12. And it was the same thing. Like, it was just like extended family just comes out of the woodwork. And it's just like, bruh, I'm a child and I can tell this is fucking weird. Okay, year 12's not quite a child. I mean, technically a minor, but, you know, still. Could tell it was weird. Could tell it was not hype. What is this? Is this an I am the arsehole? What? Or is that like an ad? Oh, promoted? Does that mean an ad? I don't understand how Reddit works. So is that like an ad or is it somehow related? I guess they didn't start it with AITA, so. Alright, let's see this one. Am I the asshole for not letting my mother-in-law be the first person to hold my baby? This one might be a little bit more controversial. Hello, Chexy. Yes, YouTube, first ever YouTube stream. Wish me luck. I think it's working, right? Do you guys notice any glaring issues? This is getting a little sparkly. I think that's because of the green screen. Rip, unlucky. At least you're not green, little soldier squid. Okay, when I F26 means Famali of 26 years of age. See, I know Reddit things. I am in tune with the internet. I'm like plugged in. I know what them kids are talking about these days. Have you already read it, Duck Guy Pie? You're already declaring NTA. What the heck? I met my husband's Malay 34 years of age mum. I hoped for a healthy mother figure type relationship. She's okay-ish. It seems foreboding. She hoped for a healthy mother figure relationship. Let's see how this goes. I mean, I'm no mind reader. But I am plugged into the internet, so I think I can see where this is going. She's okay-ish, but she can be a little controlling given that my husband is her only child. She tends to act super protective of him. When I got pregnant, mother-in-law made a request to be the first person to hold my son after he's born. She wanted to be in the delivery room with me, but I refused to let her. My husband said he'd keep her out of the room under the conditions she'd be the first person to hold the baby. Okay, All right, I've got a few issues here already. Why does the mother-in-law think she's in any position to be making conditions? Like, it's not your body that a fucking watermelon is being pushed out of. Second of all, why is the husband relaying these conditions? Bro, side with your wife. She is pushing a watermelon out of her body. Even if she weren't, she's your wife. Be better. Be better. I don't know what that emote is. It looks like a piece of cheese is like sneering at me. What is that emote checks here? Discoverability. I don't think that this is the most discoverable thing. Because like all, you know, everyone who's ever seen me on Twitch now, I'm just not there. Now I'm on YouTube on Tuesdays, but hopefully people get used to it eventually. Tube Tuesdays. It rolls right off the tongue. I've trademarked that. I've copyrighted it. I'll be like Taylor Swift. I'll trademark my birth year. No, that's actually, she actually only, I think I saw in the comments, people were getting heated on this. She actually only trademarked, what the heck? Dust or something just flew. Anyway, she only trademarked like that handwriting or whatever. Is this where fruit comes from? Smug nerd. You're just self-reporting. Anyway, so under the condition that she'd be the first person, not loving this so far. I didn't agree, but I didn't disagree as well. Just stayed silent. Yeah, I mean, husband should be doing better. The baby was born days ago. All my husband was worried about was having his mum be the first. Why are you with this dude? Oh my God, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand. I'm not sure if I'm just an especially impatient person, but I just like couldn't be with someone who wasn't a partner in life, you know? If they're just someone who makes things harder, like if I'm having to like, you know, deal with their mother-in-law's shit because they're not helping me out, like if it's just me against them, that's just weird. Especially if it's something like this, but it's not like there's two ways about it. It's my baby. I'm doing what I want. And husband, you should be supportive of that unless you have a real reason why it should be the mom. But it sounds like the husband's just like trying to suck up to everyone at once, like playing both sides a little. But she was out of town attending to a friend's daughter's wedding. Wait, so no one can hold the child? The child just sleeps on the floor until the mum gets home. He said she wouldn't be back till 2 days later. Mum and sister already came to help and they held my son as they were helping me after my husband went back to work. I said no to help and they were I had no one to help and they were my go-to. Mother-in-law and my husband knew. They both went off and started throwing a fit, saying that I had betrayed her and that I made a promise and then broke it. My husband tried to get her to calm down after she came home lashing out, but she scolded us both and then walked out. He blew up at me. Bro, this man isn't a man. It's 3 fucking red flags in a trench coat. Can I swear on YouTube? I've done it like 50 times already. I'm so much more conscious of it now that I'm not on my home turf, Twitch. It's not even that. Exactly. Delay sucks. Wait, is there a delay? How do I turn it off? I'm pretty sure I said I didn't want a delay. I think that was a setting at some point. Maybe it's just because it's like slow. Like it's not meant to. It says, what's latency? Is that the delay? It says it's normal latency. Wait, let me change it though. Analytics, stream health. Okay, I'm not sure about this delay thing, but we're gonna just power forward, you know? Soldier up. Soldier squid. Oop, that was me trying to salute for soldier squid. Okay, we're just gonna keep going. He blew up at me saying I screwed up and then violated the agreement we had. 3 red flags in a trench coat. I've got a little pink flag here just to show you. This is what I cover my camera with because I'm paranoid that like some weirdo will fucking hack it. I don't know shit about technology, so I'm scared of it. Anyway, I said that mum and sister were helping me out and held the baby. So what? He got even more pissed off and claimed I had no respect for his mum and her wishes and told me that I hurt her feelings and ruined her grandbaby's first memory. I couldn't help arguing. He called me unbelievably shellfish, like a crustacean. Crab? You around? Crab? Anyone? Any crabs out there? Anyway. And demanded I fix my mistake, but I wasn't sure what he meant by that. Like redo the baby's birth and have his mum be the first to hold him. He didn't like my sarcasm and said that what I did was sneaky and cold-hearted. He said he should have let his mum in the delivery room, otherwise none of this would happen. Imagine you are on a birthing table, legs up, genitals facing the world, and your fucking husband's mum insists on being there. How weird is that? Like, that's just not a thing. That's just not a thing. I don't think I would want anyone in the delivery room. Like, husband, that is it. Maybe my own mum if I was really nervous. But, like, that would be the extent of it. There would not be any, like, oh, this person's mums, cats, best friends, dogs, sisters, goldfishes, parents are going to be there as well, you know? Leave it. Don't mess with me right now. Oh, bad internet. Okay. fair enough. They are both still salty about it and are sulking hard. Am I the asshole? All right. This might be a controversial take. I have got a very controversial take here. I think that there is a third option that none of us are considering. I think the real asshole here is Isaac freaking Newton. Life was so good before gravity was invented. And now look, now babies can't just float around in space. There's all this drama about who's going to hold the baby. Like, honestly, Isaac, you should have thought this through. You are causing drama left, right, and center. Isaac Newton just wanted tea. He just wanted to stir the pot. So he went ahead and invented gravity. Honestly, helps no one. Like, what good does gravity do? Nothing. Imagine if we could just, like, float around. Just vibe. That would be great. But no, sorry. Thank you to one little apple fucking loving dude. We now have problems like this. So, I reckon, not the asshole, but Isaac Newton, I'm watching you. I know what's good. I know what's good. Wouldn't be the first person to hold a baby. Yes, that does make sense. Yes, why is honestly, why is the husband like this? Like, literally just like, I know there's memes about it when a girl's like, oh, he did this thing, and she doesn't even like finish the sentence, and the other girl's like, dump him. That's me. If a guy like, hurts my friend, I'm like, fucking just leave. Even if I don't know what the story is, it's like, just leave. Hopefully not in a toxic way. Hopefully more in a like, you can do better way. But yeah, this sounds terrible. Why would you be with a husband like that? I don't know. Maybe I'm just too impatient. Like, maybe I'm just like intolerant of like too many things, but I really just feel like I would be like, nah, just strong nope on that kind of fella. Although I am single, so take what I say with a grain of salt or a mountain full of salt. Okay. Where does salt come from? Does it come from mountains? I know it comes from the ocean at some points. Where does Maine, there's like salt mines and stuff, right? Maybe it just comes from my personality. Yeah, anyway, okay. I've got a lot of energy. I got a vanilla Coke. I don't really drink Coke, like, ever. But if I do, it's vanilla Coke because it tastes like nostalgia. My friends and I in year 7 would always drink vanilla Coke. Like, I don't really know, because I didn't like Coke then either. I think I was just buying it because, like, it was like the vibe. Like, we would all just get vanilla Coke and paddle pops, and that was like how we'd spend our year 7 lunches, just like sitting around in summer. And so I have, yeah, nostalgia in a bottle. Wow, I should be a Coke advertiser. Get it right now, today, for $5.95. Nostalgia in a bottle. That's a really expensive Coke. Okay, anyway, it's giving me a lot of energy because not only does it contain shitloads of sugar, it also contains a friend called caffeine. So, apologies, or you're welcome, depending on your perspective on my hyperactive state right now. Okay, am I the asshole for going on my sister's bachelorette trip instead of taking my daughter to see her paternal family? Twice a year, I take my daughter to see... Okay, I also just realized, considering I lost my voice like 2 streams ago, like I couldn't keep streaming because I lost my voice. Probably a stream that involves a lot of reading wasn't my finest idea. But, you gotta live and you learn. So, yeah, let's see how this goes. Anyway, twice a year, I take my daughter to see my ex's family per our agreement. However, my sister had a bachelorette trip during the same week I was supposed to take my daughter to see them. My sister has children, and so did the majority of the people she invited, so she decided to make the trip kid-friendly and asked me to bring my daughter too. I called my ex and told him about the trip since I needed his permission to take our daughter to Paris. And he said it was fine, but it was pretty obvious he was busy and he was just trying to get me off the phone. We never had a follow-up conversation, and I don't think he made the connection that I was supposed to take her to see his family then, but 2 days into the trip he called me and was furious that I hadn't taken her to see them. He said his family had been waiting for us, and I need to go to them immediately. From Paris? I'm assuming this is in America, because whenever I see any, pop culture media, I assume it's based in Paris. Based in the US. So that seems kind of, inconvenient. League. Oh, true. League gamers are especially salty. The chat delay is crazy. What the heck? Is there a way to fix that? That's insane. Like I said that ages ago. Huh. Very interesting. Also, how do I make mods on this website? Okay, these are all questions for Future Bella. Future Bella is always given random shit by past and present Bella. She doesn't know what's coming. She doesn't know what's coming. He said his family and I need to go home immediately. He kept bringing up our agreement and telling me off for not sticking to it, and I ended up hanging up on him because he wasn't listening to anything I said. Even now that we're home, he keeps bringing up the fact that I broke our agreement and how that means he no longer feels obliged to stick to it either. I wonder what his half of the agreement is. Am I the asshole? Okay, this one's a little more interesting because I feel like if she could tell he wasn't listening, like they're both adults and he should have just listened. Like if someone's talking about your kid, like your ex is like talking about your kid, it could have been something like really important. And if you're just like, yep, sounds good, sweetie. Yep, sounds good. Bye. Probably not a vibe. But also like if she could, or is it a he? Look at me assuming. Oh my God, my heteronormativity is showing through. I'm sorry. This person of a miscellaneous gender was like aware that he couldn't really tell, that he didn't really know what was going on. So maybe they could have made it more clear, but also it gets to a point where it's like, I don't know, I personally get sick of that kind of thing. Like if someone is like, maybe this is like the billionth time this person has told their ex something, maybe this is why they're an ex, because they never like took in information. You just get sick of like managing someone else. So I think I would want more information, because if it was like the first time and they could tell he was clearly busy, like maybe he was going through something, maybe this, maybe that, I don't know. So I would say like maybe you could have given him more information. But that said, if it's not the first time and it's part of a pattern, I'd be a little bit like, annoying. Future blah, 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 334 should play some League so we can get more salt. Are you running low on salt? He gave verbal permission. So he did give permission? Oh, he said it was fine. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, actually, yeah. Wait, yeah, that is weird. That's a good point. Why does she have to do it, or they have to do it during their time? Did they say what they are? Am I just... Okay. Did they say what they are? Like, I don't think they did. But, yeah, why doesn't the husband do it during his time? Why is it during the poster's time? The plot thickens. The plot thickens. Interesting. I feel like I'm giving Squid too much room. I'm, like, hardly on the screen. Oh, I really want Squid to be present though. Present and accounted for. How's that? This is doing nothing at this point. It's just sitting there looking pretty. It's just a free fucking road advert. How's that for framing? Okay. Who framed Bella Rabbit? Ah, yes. Okay. Yes, he should be listening when you two are discussing your daughter. It doesn't sound like things are acrimonious between you. You heavily suspected he didn't understand what you were saying. I feel like I just want more information, because I totally get that if it's like the millionth time, like you can't manage another adult forever, you know? Like you just go, okay, fine. You said yes, that's all. I'm just going to take it at face value. Like you can't always be managing another adult, but that's like an assumption that this is a pattern. If it's not a pattern, then I think you're the butthole OP. And if it is a pattern, then I'm like, nah, you're G, you're off the hook. Because, like, you know, you don't know what, like, maybe the husband was just like, that it was like a once-off and he was really busy. So then it'd be like, you know, you probably could have given more information, checked that he really was listening, whatever. But if it's like, you know, he's like that all the time, then it's like, okay, whatever, that's why we're not together anymore. All right, another one done and dusted. Look at us. Look at us. The Bella 334 with way too many L's. Squidlings are making good progress. I want to try and do, there's all these like filters. Do we want to do new? Let's do top today. Let's do top today. Oh, okay. We read that one. Am I the asshole for not supporting my mum in including my brother's son in her? Okay. For not, fuck. I'm so bad with like familial relations. Like when it's like, you know, have you ever seen those riddles where it's like, my brother is your first cousin or whatever. What's Bob's relation to Jane? And I'm terrible at them. I don't know how you define most relations. Like aunt, uncle, grandfather, grandmother, mum, dad. That's about the extent of it. And then beyond that, I'm a little bit unsure. Yeah, that guy pie, I reckon. I really am not a fan of this, this delay. It's grim. It's very grim. I don't know why it's there. Is there a way to fix it? I'll Google that for next time. Actually, I'm going to write that down before I forget. Because I will forget. Fix delay. Fix YT delay E. Dr. Seuss would be very proud. Alright. Am I the asshole for supporting my mum in not including my brother's my brother's son in her will. So this person's nephew. Is that right? Please let me know in the comments below, otherwise known as chat. My mum is getting older and wants to create her will. She's still capable herself for the most part and also has a lawyer, but she lives with us anyway, so I help her with a lot of things, including this. I have 2 teenagers. My brother has a teenage daughter with his wife of 20 years. However, they briefly separated a decade ago, and he has a son who's 9 from a one-night stand. Look at me, I'm learning, I'm evolving. I got that one of my own accord from an ONS during that time. They've always had a visitation. Oh my god, this is so sweet. I always forget how sweet Coke is. They've always had a visitation schedule, and we, the extended family, have known him since he was a preschooler. But as of a year ago, he's living with my brother and his wife full-time, and his mother passed away. Oh, he's only 9 and his mum passed away, that's sad. And is now more integrated into our family. My mum accepts his son as her grandson, as do the rest of us. I wish they just gave them fake names. This is so confusing. His son. So this is the one-night stand fruit of loins son. That's what we're talking about now. Okay. My mum wants to leave a small property she owns to be split among the grandkids. The assumption is that when the time comes, they'll sell it and split the proceeds. It's not sentimental or easy/convenient to share ownership of. 9M is the sole beneficiary of his mother's death and is the sole beneficiary of his very elderly but very well-off maternal grandparents. This is important because I was starting to think, I was like, if they're just excluding this kid, that's kind of dog. The funds from his mother alone are considerably more than the property my mum owns, so my mother allocated him a token gift but didn't think it made sense for him to be cut in equally to the other 3. It has nothing to do with him being born outside the marriage or anything like that. My brother found out and demanded his son be cut in equally to the property. Not really because of the money. He knows as well as we do that 9M doesn't need it, and more because of what it meant symbolically for 9M to not be cut in. My mum repeated that it didn't make practical sense, but said if I agreed, she was willing to split it 4 ways instead. Alright, actually on this one, I think if you're considering the kid part of the family, I think that you should give him a quarter of the house. Because think of it this way, if I and my siblings, right, we all go different ways in life. Maybe I end up being a billionaire because, you know, naturally, and then my brother ends up being like impoverished, which will not happen, I hope. I hope I'm not just like cursing my siblings now. And my sister ends up somewhere in the middle. I'd hope that anyone who left us in their will wouldn't like account for that when leaving money. Or similarly, like if my brother was the billionaire or my sister and I was like not as well off, I don't think that like because you made good choices or were lucky or whatever, that it should affect how things are divided, because that gets really complicated. Like what if I just never worked in my life and then my brother worked very hard every day of his life and built up a lot of fortune? Does that mean that I should somehow be more entitled to the money that someone's leaving behind? I personally think no. I think that like you just split it equally. Like it's not your business how much money they have outside of that. It's like you're just splitting it equally. It's not, you're not like the, you know, the fucking like government or someone where it's like it matters to you what someone's income is. Like you're just vibing, you're just dead. You just give people an equal amount of money, like given their, you know, like proximity to you. So like, you know, all the siblings get an equal amount of money unless there's one you really hate and then they don't get anything. But it's like, if it's just because one has more than the other, I don't think that's particularly fair. And if this kid is part of the family, the fact that he happens to have money because of his mum dying, which is obviously a tragedy, and because of another elderly like person dying, I think he should still be cut in personally, because I think like it's not a, I don't know, is that a weird take? What do you guys reckon of that? Oh, hello Jordan. I linked it in my Discord, but yeah, no, I'm not sure if I did it right. Did it link to here? When you click the Discord link, does it lead to the stream properly or not? I wasn't really sure. But what do you guys reckon of that take? Is that a weird take? I just feel like you are just giving money upon your deathbed. You're just giving money to people. You're not basing it on how much money they have. So the fact that this person is already, like, what if one of the other kids had a best friend who passed away and left them money, would you now not give them money? Like, it just feels like, even though you're framing it as it doesn't matter that it's that child's not from the family initially, it feels like the only reason they're not getting money is because they're not from the family and they have other familial relations that gave them money. Does that make sense? Because like the mum of this kid didn't necessarily have a good relationship with the other grandkids, whereas this grandma has a good relationship with this kid. So it's like, if you're treating them like a grandkid and you say that they are a grandkid, then I think you should cut them in, personally. Dank jaw, man. Oh, okay. Twitch activity feed. I wasn't sure if it would adapt to become a YouTube activity feed. What even is that called? Events? Aha! Wow, look at me, old tech savvy. Hello, it's Jeff. Oh wow, I'm so glad so many of you came across. I was worried y'all would be like, what is this strange red land? I want to go back to my purple home. Well, yeah, let me know if you guys think that's a weird take, if that's a weird take of mine, but that's what I reckon. But I said no, I agree with her that it's illogical. Let's say the properties were 200k when my mum passes it away, 4-way that's 50k each, 3 ways that's 67k each. If we were talking about $200, I'd understand, but I can't justify taking 17k from each of my kids' future for a symbolic gesture. Obviously, the exact amount will depend on the market, blah, blah, blah. I told my brother I didn't think it was fair, and he said I was being a mercenary. What's ETA? What's ETA? Estimated time of arrival? Probably not. What? I don't understand. I don't understand what that means. Just skip, because all this seems to be replying to that one initialism I don't understand. Oh my god. Okay, can someone give me a take that isn't... What? Oh yeah, see, this is exactly what I think. Yeah, I'm not sure about that take. Like, if you got money because your mum died, like, that's a fucking shitty situation, I don't think that it's like... I don't see any reason why the child should be cut out. Yes, good. People seem to agree with me, and that makes me feel validated and powerful. Next step, world domination. Why should your brother's son... Oh, Jesus Christ, this fucking connection. Can someone, like, make me a family tree? I don't know how things relate. Like, if you are this person, and then... you've got your parents, and then there's like some people over here. I just get very confused very quickly. You know what else I'm terrible at? Geography. I'm terrible at geography. Familial relations, and then fucking geography. Those two. Just not a clue. I'm like embarrassingly bad at geography. Now you know my secret. I honestly blanked out. That child deserves the token. Deserves the token? Or deserves the... I don't think they deserve the token. I think they deserve a quarter, because they got a token gift. But I think... okay. Yes, exactly. I agree. Hot take. Maybe not so hot after all. Maybe it was just a lukewarm take because everyone else agrees. I'll just pretend that they're all following my lead on this situation 15 hours ago. Yes. Wait, what? No, I don't agree with this person after all. I got confused. Oh, no. I don't agree with all this. No. I'm not sure about all this. Like, you factored in... Yeah. Okay, I'm confused. All these people are confusing me now, but I stand by what I said. I'm not going to say it again because I confused myself, but hopefully you all remember it. Hopefully you're all taking notes. Okay, let's do this now. Am I the asshole for thinking it's too late to get rid of... Oh, hello, Alpine! Honestly, just because Twitch is a little sketch lately, like, it seems to be kind of chaotic, and I don't feel like the longevity of Twitch is looking too good. I think, like, yeah, it's just a little... It's just a little sketch. I'm diversifying. I'm just diversifying, you know? Like, I make YouTube videos, in theory. It takes me a really long time to edit because I don't know how to edit. But the next one's going to be fun. I've got some little animation stuff happening. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, I figure it's like, if I'm doing it once a week, which I am, Tube Tuesday, get around it. Every Tuesday I'll be streaming on YouTube. The other 3 days a week will be on Twitch still. Yeah, if I'm just streaming one day a week here, I think it's not a bad thing. Diversification is not a bad thing. You blanked out? How are you tonight? It's Jep. And how are you, Alpine? How's everyone? How's it hanging, squidlings? Am I the asshole for thinking it's too late to get rid of this nickname? My son's given nickname is William, but no one calls him that. We all call him Willie, just like his grandfather. When they're together, they go by Big Willie and Little Willie. My husband had the same thing with his grandfather. They were Big Will and Lil Will. For 8 years, my son has gone by Willie. My husband has started trying to get our son to answer to Will. This confuses our son. I don't really understand why he's doing this. He'll call for our son with the name Will, and our son won't respond. Yesterday, he asked why our son wasn't answering, and he said he didn't call him, and they started arguing. Seems like a weird thing to argue about. Like, surely the kid just goes, oh, I didn't think you meant me. And then the dad just goes, oh, my bad. I did mean you. Cool, fair enough. I confronted him, and he said we need to stop calling Willie because it's a silly, puerile name. I don't understand why this is now suddenly an issue after so much time. Husband says it's a fine name, but for a little kid, it's a fine name for a little kid. But as he gets older, it will prevent people from taking him seriously. I don't agree, but regardless, shouldn't he have thought of that before? He was the one who wanted to name our son William, and for 8 years he's gone along with the Willie nickname. It's too late. My husband says I'm being immature and unsupportive, but am I? I secretly suspect he fought with his dad, and that's what this is all about. But heaven forbid I suggest such a thing. Should I just start calling Willie Will? Okay, this is a really fucking weird take. I feel like this is like the lowest stakes thing. I mean, this is a really fucking weird situation. I feel like this is like the lowest stakes thing ever. Like, if the kid responds to Willie, then fucking call him Willie. If he decides, hey, I'm getting bullied or something, then just go by Will. I don't know. I don't feel like... I feel like this is a weird issue, personally. But I also feel like these two parents have bad communication. Like, why was the dad fighting with the kid because the kid didn't respond to a name that he's never responded to before? And then why is the mum doing this whole, like, again, maybe I'm assuming too much. It might not be a mum. It might be another dad. But why is this person doing the, like, this thing, the passive-aggressive, heaven forbid I suggest this? I don't know. It seems a little... I guess. I don't know. Maybe I'm just biased because I just have been called Bella. I've never really had to deal with anything like this. Hype for a PAX trip. Oh, I'm so jealous. Make sure you send pictures. I just feel like this is really low stakes. But maybe this is like... Maybe I'm just not being empathetic enough. Like, maybe like this child will be bullied. I don't know. Yeah, that did make me laugh a little bit. Maybe I'm the problem. I'm laughing. Yeah, I think it's just like the son's choice. If he's just vibing, although the kid probably doesn't even know what that means anyway. I don't know. I feel like you can just say to the kid, hey, is it alright if I also call you Will? It saves me a whole syllable. And then the child can be like, no, I hate that name. And then you don't call him Will. Or he might be like, yeah, that's chill with me. I'm a chill Will. And then that's sorted, you know? Then you can call him whatever you want. And then as the child ages, he might think, hey, this has weird innuendo attached. And then you stop calling him that. Or he goes, I don't care. And then you keep calling him whatever you want, if that's what you agreed with him. I just feel like, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a terrible thing inherently to have that name. But that is kind of funny. Maybe I'm the problem. Anyway. Oh wait, we already read these ones. What? We're zooming. Okay, this one sounds spicy. Am I the asshole for keeping my grandpa's inheritance? I like ones that, like, the title makes you think, yeah, like, obviously you're not. Or when it's like one that makes it sound like the person's an asshole, and then you read it and you're like, oh, Nelly, I did not get that right. Like there's so much context here. I've seen these things on YouTube, but I've never really seen them on Reddit. So I'm interested to see like even just scrolling through like this, it's interesting to see the sort of mix of ones you get, because obviously a YouTube video, sometimes they're a bit more curated or whatever. So yeah, I'm having fun getting into the world of Reddit. Is that a weird thing to say? Maybe Reddit isn't something you're supposed to have fun getting into. It's meant to be more like you're dragged kicking and screaming into the depths of toxicity in the internet. Alrighty, let's read this. I'm at the asshole for keeping my grandpa's inheritance. My grandpa passed away earlier this year, and he essentially left everything to me via a trust. Which one are you reading? Which one are you responding to, That Guy Pie? I'm an only child, but I grew up with my first cousins, and we were all very close in age. All of us are less than 2 years apart. Fewer than, but that's okay. When we started graduating high school, they all left the state to go to various universities. I got into some pretty good schools, but I decided to stay and go to a local university so I can take care of my grandpa. He lived alone and needed someone to give him his medication, help him change, cook for him, take him to doctor's appointments, figure out his Medicare paperwork, etc. My mum, aunt, and uncle couldn't give two shits about him at that point, and they used to play hot potato with whoever had to take care of him. So I stepped up and did that while going to school locally. I did that for over 5 years until he passed away. Plus, I used to take care of him while I was in high school, so it's closer to 9 years. About 2 years into college, he sat me down with a lawyer, put his house and all his assets in a trust, and made me the trustee. He told me he's leaving everything to me and that I can decide what to do with it. I could sell the house and split it with everyone, or keep it and live in it, or rent it out, etc. My mum, aunt, uncle were pretty blindsided by the trust and had assumed they were going to get the house and split it 3 ways. My cousins were also extremely upset they weren't given anything. They want me to sell the house and split it with everyone. Split 7 ways, 3 kids, plus 4 cousins, including me. I said no. I decided to keep it, live in it, and I've been renting out the 2 rooms. As you can imagine, they're all extremely upset and have been pestering, guilting, threatening me. Am I the asshole here? Personally, I think no. Like, if the person left it to you, they left it to you, he said you could do whatever you wanted with it, but like you're doing what you wanted with it. So that's chill, and none of them cared. I really hate this. Like, I just can't imagine being that, like, okay, the only exception to like being like feeling entitled to something is if you're like a spouse or you're like a dependent, like you're still living with them and you rely on that money or whatever, and the person knows that. But if you're an adult living your own life, I don't even like expect anything from my parents. Do you know what I mean? Like, if they, like, I'm assuming that when they pass away eventually, they're going to just split it evenly with us. But if they were like, hey, actually, you didn't talk to us for 10 years and your sister took care of us that whole time, so we left everything to her, I'd be like, you know what? Fair enough. And even if I didn't feel like it was fair enough, I'd be like, it's their shit to deal with, you know? I don't know. I know, like, there is obviously some wiggle room because, like, the law can decide that it was unfair how a will was, like, split, and depending on how the will was laid out, there can be more or less wiggle room, depending on how, like, watertight it was. But I personally just feel like unless you're actually dependent, like you're in a, you know, spousal relationship and you have kids to feed or whatever, or you are a kid, or you're an adult who's dependent for some reason, like maybe you have a disability or something, in any of those situations, yes, you definitely should be like, well, actually, no, like they knew I relied on this income, and they, like, on money from them as like income, and they haven't really followed through on that. That's kind of not sure what that's about. But in any other circumstance, I just can't imagine feeling that entitled, you know? Like, it's their money. Like, I don't know. It's just, yeah, personally. ETA means everyone, I think. ETA. Oh, wait, that was from ages ago. ETA. What context was that in? I can't remember. Does that make sense? Maybe I'm taking it too black and white view of it though, because on the other hand, I suppose, like, you as a child don't ask to be born into the world, so like maybe there's some sort of expectation that your parents should leave you something because, like, they chose to have you, you know, like maybe there's that could be part of it. I'm not sure. I guess this isn't something I've thought about heaps. I've just never really been in a position where anyone around me has passed away, and anyone around me who I do know, I can't imagine feeling upset by how little they left me. If they did, I'd just be like, maybe I'd feel hurt if I thought we were really close and they left me nothing. I'd be like, oh, that kind of sucks. But it wouldn't be from a place of entitlement. It'd more be from a place of like, this feels like they're quantifying our relationship and they quantified it lowly, you know? But other than that, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a weird attitude to have. And probably kind of telling of the kinds of people that are, like in this situation, that's like a fucking lot of people. Surely not all of them were like tight with the grandpa. It sounds like they weren't. They weren't even taking care of him. So yeah, I don't know. Okay, I don't know anything about anything. I study law and I don't know shit about shit. I did trusts and equities and trusts as a unit. Do I remember any of it? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'm very scared for the day that I walk into the world as a qualified lawyer, because someone will ask me something and I'll be like, I don't know. And I'll end up in jail. I don't know shit. I don't remember anything. I know they say you learn most of it on the job, but like, it's not going to be most of it. It's going to be like all of it. I'll remember like some random law fact that doesn't apply to anything that I learned in first year. That was just their take, I think. Oh, yes, Jordan. Send me a TikTok. Oh my gosh, my nose. Ah. Wait, where'd my tissues go? Oh, also, I have chippies. I forgot. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like that's definitely weird that they didn't even care about him to take care of him. Especially like when he was like needing that care, not just when he was old full stop, but when he like didn't have it, like he couldn't take stuff on his own. I forgot I have chippies. Let's enjoy some chippies. This is a long one. Juicy. Let's see. Alright, I'll check it out in a bit, Jordan. I need to get around TikTok again. I haven't used it for so long. I don't think I'm logged in on my laptop. Maybe I'm logged in on this one though. I've lost track of where I'm logged into what. Alright. Am I the asshole for confirming my parents' rumors because I didn't help a friend? Hello, Reddit. Hello. I need help as this has been bugging me. For context, I grew up with abusive parents who kicked me out as soon as I turned 18, and they continue to go through life telling their friends lies about me being a horrible person. Jesus. Now I, 20th, had, asterisk, a lifelong friend, 21th. We'll call her B. Hey, people call me B, because my name is Bella, and do you know what that starts with? That's right, a B. 10 points. We grew up together. As we grew into adults and went on with our lives, B and I parted ways, but still kept in contact. I got myself a job, got married, and I'm living my best life. B, on the other hand, is couch hopping, struggling financially, and refuses to get a job. Okay, when I've had the extra funds, she's asked me for money for food, in which I sent her some so she could eat. This has been happening every week where she'll need money for food again. Okay, this is like a huge aside. But I really don't understand how, like, some people would, like, survive in the world. Like, some days I'm just, like, so, like, either I'll just be, like, depressed or just, like, ADHD's just got me good and I'm just feeling overwhelmed as fuck. And, like, I can't even, like, make food for myself and I'll just, like, get takeout or something stupid. Like, that was kind of tonight. I just felt really overwhelmed and so I just got takeout. Although this wasn't that bad, but I more mean the days where I just feel like I literally can't do anything. Imagine if you didn't even have the money for takeout. Like, you didn't have the money to, you know, like I'm lucky that I can do that. Because if I can't cook because I'm feeling super overwhelmed, I can just, like, put it off for a night and get takeout. But takeout's obviously more expensive. But then, what if, like, you couldn't... I don't know. It just feels like... I don't know. I don't exactly know how to explain my point. I feel like I'm just getting a little sidetracked because of this whole struggling financially. I don't know. I just feel like for a lot of people... it would be really hard to just live. And like, I'm really lucky that it's never been a huge problem, that my problems have, you know, risked me becoming like destitute where I'll have nothing and I'll just be like starving on the streets. But it just feels like it would be so easy to get to that point. Like a person with no security nets, like no safety nets. I've also been down a little bit of a mental health rabbit hole lately, like learning about a whole bunch of different conditions like bipolar disorder and dissociative identity disorder. I don't know, it's just been some fucking niche rabbit hole I found myself down, just learning about all this random stuff. And I just feel like life is just so hard for so many people. And then I don't know, I guess refusing to get a job sounds different. Like that sounds like a different situation. So I'm not talking about this specifically, but like more that I sent her some food so she could eat. It just feels like a lot of people, I just genuinely wonder how they would survive. Like where do they get shelter from? I know a lot of people don't have shelter, and that's where you have homelessness. And like where do they get food from? A lot of people don't have food. Like it just seems like there would be so many people that applies to. Like it's not the minority. It just seems like it'd be a lot of people. Does that make sense? I don't know. I just feel like it's just, now that I'm a real adult and living out of home, not living at home, I just feel like I'm just constantly struck by like how lucky I am, because a lot of people wouldn't have the opportunities and the safety nets and everything that I have. Like if I got to my lowest possible point and I was just like, couldn't do anything, I lost everything I'd ever owned, I had no money, I was on the streets or whatever, I could just go back to my parents' house. Do you know what I mean? Or like I could move in with one of my siblings. Like it's like I always have those supports. And I just feel like I guess people who do have those supports can take it for granted that a lot of people don't have those supports, and it would be so easy to just like fall through the gaps and your whole life to just get flipped upside down. So yeah, little aside, not entirely sure what my point was. I think it was just this so she could eat thing kind of just struck me, because it's like if you don't have support systems, maybe you're just not eating. That just sucks. Anyway, back to the story. This has been happening every week where she'll need money for food again. More context. My husband and I both have her on Snapchat. Okay, it's random context. A couple of days ago, she asked me again for money for food. Probably shouldn't eat a chip and then start talking. You guys talk amongst yourself for a moment. Alrighty. A couple of days ago, she asked me again for more money for food. I didn't really have the extra funds, but I came up with something by pulling it out of my savings to send to her. Bro, this friend is so nice. Like, if that person's just like, I don't want a job, can't be fucked, that's totally different to what I was talking about. And that's just like, get a job. Like the rest of us noobs. I already thought it was a little weird because I had just given her money a couple of days prior. She was asking for a specific amount, telling me she needed at least $25. I didn't want to question her, so I just sent it. Well, a few hours later, my husband and I are chilling on the couch, and he is scrolling through his friend's stories on Snapchat and sees bees. He says he's happy she's doing better for herself now, and I asked what he meant. He tells me to go look at her story, but I don't see anything. On my end, she hasn't posted on her story since early that morning. Husband showed me her story, which is a private story that I'm not a part of, and she's at a club, partying with other people. She posted pictures of a huge dinner meal, on top of that a lot of alcoholic drinks. I saw she tagged the location of the club she was at, and I looked it up on Google. Turns out that $25 she needed for food was actually the bouncer fee to get in. I felt hurt and betrayed that she would lie to me about that, especially since I pulled out of savings to help her get food. But I didn't confront her about it because I'm not good with confrontation. It gets my anxiety up and I can't deal with it. Man, that friend is so rude. She just completely used that first friend. I need to, like, B, friend number 2. Yes, the little B emoji in the comments. It's Jeff. Queen B. B completely dogged the first friend. That's so exploitative. Like, they knew they'd give them the money and then they just, like, hit it. Like, you knew what you were doing was wrong. You hit it. That's such a dog act. Oh, man. The next week comes around and she's asking for money again. I told her no and lied to her, saying I couldn't afford to, and left it at that. Well, a few minutes later, I get a book from her telling me how my parents were right, how I'm selfish and a greedy person for leaving her to die of hunger, and I'm not a real friend. Get a book from her. Does it just mean like a really long text? Like an essay? You say like, oh, I sent that person an essay. Also, how emotionally manipulative is that? After that, all her friends started harassing me. All her friends? Why didn't you ask those friends for money? How horrible I am for not helping my best friend, and how, again, my parents were right. They should be ashamed for being such a disgusting pet. Wow, these people sound toxic as fuck, bro. Cut that shit out. Snip, snip, toxic people out of your life. Snip, 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 snip. I blocked all of them, and my husband agrees I was in the right and told me not to give her the time of day. If she wants to act entitled, but she's my lifetime best friend, if she wants to act entitled. But she's my lifetime best friend, and I'm starting to regret not just giving her the money. So, Reddit, AITA? Avatar is the airbender? Question mark? I hate to break this to you, but this girl is not your friend. She uses you and you allow it. People choose how we allow them to. Yeah, I agree. Not the asshole, but you will be the asshole if you give her any more money. I first read it as you want to be the asshole. I don't know. It's like you're aspiring for this. Yeah. Yeah, okay. I agree. I think like, I don't know. That's like a really bad, that's like, what show is it? What show is it? Ugh. Oh, The Good Doctor. I binge watched The Good Doctor recently. I think I was sick or something. I can't remember. I was at home for a long period of time. I think I was sick. I can't remember exactly what it was, but long enough to binge watch The Good Doctor. And there's a plot line where, so the main character, The Good Doctor, I assume that's who they're talking about. Maybe they're not talking about him. Maybe some other doctor's also good. I don't know. Maybe they're all good. Anyway, the main character has autism and he's very like trusting of people. And his neighbor is very exploitative of that fact and like of the main character not really being able to read social cues as well, and ends up just like using him a lot. And that just gave me this, and like this story gave me that energy where it's like someone who's like, oh yeah, no, we're best buddies, but they're only saying that so it can like make you feel good, and they just take your shit. That's so annoying. Yeah, that's so manipulative. All that stuff they were saying, like that's bleh, gross. Hate that. Nope, definitely not the asshole. They're not apologize. All right, this one sounds juicy. Oh, big words, big words. We like the big ones. First of all, great show. Second of all, absolutely not the asshole. I love Claire Brown. She's such a cool character in that show. I fucking loved her. I think I've finished it. Or is it over forever, or is it just... Well, I think I've seen what's out. I just like binge watched it, though, so I've probably forgotten most of the plot lines. But she was such a cool character. I was just like, maybe she's the Good Doctor. She's awesome. All right. Am I the asshole for not telling my sister I'm pregnant too? They're not apologizing enough. I went from 2.9 to 3 while we were watching, so it's a hot topic. Let me start by saying my sister, 36F, and I, 34F, have had a rocky relationship. I had a childhood illness that meant that a lot of attention was focused on me instead of her. That would be hard, like growing up having something like that happen. I saw a video where a woman was in that situation. Anyway, more on that later. Was focused on me instead of her, which she resented me for. I admit that in my 10 years in adult life, I've had some pretty selfish, attention-seeking moments, but I'm trying to work on myself because it's not who I want to be. In February, my husband, 36M, and I found out I was pregnant. Even though I had health issues, I wasn't considered high risk, but we still decided not to tell anyone until the 12-week scan, including family, just in case. In March, my sister texted me saying she's missed her period, taken a test, and is pregnant too. So, says she's pregnant too. So did she know that the first sister was pregnant, or did she not know that? Like, is that, like, she was telling her? Oh, she didn't tell her. Okay. I called her and congratulated her, but I didn't tell her I was also pregnant because of what my husband and I agreed. This was grievance number 1 because she says I lied to her by not telling her the truth. I'm not exactly sure where the issue there would be, like if someone didn't tell you they're pregnant, but as time went on, I didn't know how I was going to tell her I was pregnant too. I didn't want to steal her spotlight or take any attention away from her like I did with my childhood cancer. I mean, that's not really taking attention away from someone. That's just like having cancer and needing attention. The video I saw was on this ADHD channel that is absolutely awesome. It's How to ADHD, and the girl who runs it is super cool. And she had a video on, like, I don't even remember what the actual topic of the video was, but she was like talking about how when she was younger, her sister had a lot more serious problems than her. And so she didn't really ever get much help or support with her ADHD. And how she eventually got to a point where it's like, you can state your needs without detracting from the other person's needs, because like what has happened is that she grew up basically never stating her needs because someone else probably needed more attention or whatever. And so you can just be like, I understand that you need me right now, and I also need you for these things, you know, like you can have both. Hello, Sivra, welcome. What is this? Your girl's on YouTube now, as well as Twitch. Diversifying. Just had a look and apparently The Good Doctor's 6th season. Yee, more Claire, hopefully. Premiered like yesterday. I love Claire. How are you tonight, Rob? We're doing Am I the Asshole reactions. But yeah, basically you can acknowledge that someone else's needs are greater than yours. So for example, the poster had cancer as a kid, and then the other kid can say, hey mom and dad, I know that blah blah needs a lot of attention and help, and I also am feeling a little bit neglected. Could we do something sometime? You know, like, do you know what I mean? You could do everything. Just so fancy. Yeah, look at me. Little diversification. That's the word of the night. The word on the street. I've said it about 6 trillion times. Take a shot every time I say diversify or something to that effect. Yeah, so I feel like that's just like a situation like this where it's like you weren't in the wrong for needing extra help and attention growing up for having cancer. Like, that's not something that you did wrong. And simultaneously, the other kid can feel like they didn't get enough attention growing up, you know? Like, you can have both things coexist, and the other kid can say, I actually also need help. Even as an adult, they can say, and I need help now, you know? Which I thought was it's a good point. So instead of like, but I need this or but I need that, it's like, and I need, like, both things can coexist. Like, attention isn't necessarily like a, you know, I don't know, it's not like a super finite resource. Time can be, but attention isn't necessarily. Like, you can just kind of have, you know, as far as you have 2 kids, you can just carve out time for the second one that isn't getting any attention. Anyway, that's enough parenting from a young girl with no children. Anyway, a young naive child with no children of her own. Where was I up to? Oh yeah, like I do, but I also admit that I didn't want us to compare pregnancies and have our parents compare us. I guess I didn't want to share my spotlight either. After the 12-week scan, we agreed to tell parents, but because I didn't know how to tell my sister, I thought it was best to tell my parents and ask their opinion on how to do it. We had both sets of parents over and told them at the same time. This is grievance number 2, not inviting her. My sister knew something was going on and messaged my mum, and so I said I would tell her myself. She called me that evening, and so I told her. She asked, so you're ahead of me. Why wasn't I invited today? So you're Wait, so someone told... So you're ahead of... I'm confused. So someone told her? I told her we wanted to tell parents first, and I didn't know... Oh, okay. So she said... After she told her, she said, why didn't you tell me? All right. I didn't know how to tell her, and she hung up on me. It's been 5 months. I've sent her a letter explaining my actions and a bunch of flowers saying that I should have invited her with the parents, but she still blocked me on everything. She sent an engagement party that we weren't invited to and had missed my mom's birthday and uncle visiting from a different country because I was there, so I can tell she's still livid. What a great word, by the way. It sounds like liver. Isn't that weird? A word that sounds like liver. Great word. Livid. They should have another word that's like lunged. And then, like... What's another body part? Esophagus. Anyway. The coke's get into my brain. By the way, this kind of coke. This is PG stream. This coke get into my brain. I think she wants me to grovel and try harder at apologizing, but I'm now upset at her behavior. It's reminding me of how she's been pretty nasty to me in the past, saying I asked for cancer and how she's previously reacted to any good news in my life. Jesus fuck. We've never really been close, and I'd say we're equally bad at not running to each other's aid. She didn't support me through my cancers. I didn't go to her housewarming, etc. I mean, these two aren't really the same, but it does sound like a very, like, you know, messy relationship. I need an outsider perspective and outside perspective, and I'm willing to answer any questions to understand if I'm an asshole and if I should try harder to apologize for lying to her and not inviting her to the reveal. That kid sucks also. Well, it says OBS disconnected. Come back. I'll be back. Since you never had that good a relationship with her, don't you think she wants space from you after that? This could very well have been the straw that broke the camel's back and decided to go no contact with you. All right. I want to have something one day where I post it here and see what people think. I don't really have too much drama lately though, I don't reckon. Probably in high school I would have had more like, am I the asshole for not giving Sally my pen after she lost my previous pen? And this is my favorite pen and it has pink sparkles of fluff on it. Please Reddit, help me. That probably would have been more relevant then. I feel like now I'd just be like, I don't know, not as much of this stuff happening. Sadly, I do agree that your sister would likely have been upset as well. Having to learn that your own parents validated an announcement meeting that purposely... Yes, that does make sense. Alright. Okay, so this is... I feel like everyone's just saying, like, no one's... Oh, yeah. The parents are kind of trolls. Potential. I want to see more. I don't understand. So these are all replying to a comment. How do I see, like, the ones that are just their own thing? Like, where people are just saying something. They're not responding to anyone. Okay, alright. No ass. Oh, wait. Not asshole? Wait, so what's NTA? Is this not asshole or no assholes? Can someone just tell me the lingo? I don't understand this. Siblings of child cancer patients. Yeah, that does seem like it would be very, very hard. Okay. So, it sounds like your parents were not good to your sister and she seems to have a lot of trauma around that. You were also not great to her. This was a proverbial straw. Yeah, I reckon. That sounds like, yeah, it's just like it's unlucky situation. Yeah, sometimes you just gotta do you. And it sounds like the sister just needs to do her. But what about NAH? What about nah? It's Jep. Is that different to NTA? I feel like this means no asshole. Like, no assholes here. There's not a single butt in sight. No one. Okay. No, I agree with the one saying no one. Because it's like, I feel like it's just like the sister needs her space because... I didn't press back. What the heckery is that? Yeah, like I feel like it's fair enough that the sister just was like, I've had enough of this. I need my space. And it's also fair enough that the poster didn't realize what harm they were doing with those actions because they had their own trauma. I feel like it's the type of thing that if I were in that situation, I'd give it time and space. And then like someone suggested, when the baby's born, like when something comes up, you send a gift, you keep trying for a while. If eventually you're just never hearing anything back, just take the L, honestly. That'd be my approach. Like, if the person's just like, I just do not want you in my life, then that would suck. But it's also like, you gotta respect that. I can click on that line to the far left. This one. So I can make them all like baby comments. That's so great. Thank you. Wow. I don't know shit about this website. Thank you. It's Jeff out here with the pro tips. Alrighty. Let's go on to the next one. Alright. Am I the asshole for not entertaining my parents' guests? Hi. I'll just jump into it. My 27th birthday was on the 9th of the 26th. Wow, I didn't realize there were so many months in a year. 26 months? That's new. Man, the patches to reality, the updates are getting crazier and crazier. My parents invited their friends from New York to stay with us on Oahu from the 9th of the 20th to the 10th of the 3rd. Okay, so the 20th of the 9th to the 3rd of the 10th. Fucking American dates, man. On the 25th of the 9th, my parents went on a trip with their guests to the Big Island and missed my birthday. Okay, I got distracted by the dates. I don't know what's going on. So, birthday, New York, Oahu. Parents went on a trip, Big Island, missed my birthday. No big deal, I'll have another. I had a celebration with my friends. Last night we went to a restaurant, did karaoke. Elite, love karaoke. Karaoke is the best thing ever invented. On a stage, drunk with all your friends in the crowd, also drunk. You don't sing the song well, you have to like yell it. That's the only way to do karaoke. That's the only way. People who get up there and do like a perfect rendition of like, I dreamed a dream. Like, oh, I dreamed a dream. No, wrong. Wrong place, wrong time. Read the room. No one wants that. What you need to do is get on up there and scream out a banger with your friends. The whole crowd gets around it. You all sound like shit. You're all drunk. That's the good time. That's the good time. The only time you can sing a song well is if like that's the vibe of the night, which it rarely is, but sometimes it is, and that's when you can, you know, get around it. You have never done karaoke? It's Jep. I mean, you live in Hobart. If I go anytime soon, I'll let you know, because I used to go with my friends on Thursdays, but I haven't been for probably like a year now. But if I do, I'll let you know. We would go in like a huge group, and it was really good fun. Haven't been for a really long time though. I think it got closed because of COVID for a while. It would be back now, but I just haven't been for ages. I don't know if any of my friends are still going. But yeah, I'll let you know if we do. No big deal. I'll have another one. I had to celebrate karaoke, elite, then drank until 6 a.m. I have been extremely busy with my college courses and I'm taking 17 credits. What does that mean? What does 17 credits mean? I'm a bit reclusive. That always sounds like raccoon to me. Like reclusive. And tend to stay in my room alone. I should make a brand called the Reclusive Raccoon. The Raccoonsive Raccoon. The Raccoonsive Raccoon. I reckon I'm onto something here. That's a good name for a brand. Raccoons are elite, by the way. The word reclusive, also elite. The word livid, very elite. Raccoon kick. Now we're all just collectively having a stroke. What would be your go-to karaoke song, chat? It's Jep, Dat Guy Pie. Let me know your songs. Civ Rob, if you're still around. Tend to stay in my room alone. I've been doing this my entire life and I'm uncomfortable around people that I don't know very well. When the guests arrive, I made sure to say hello and welcome them. Chip break. It's like a super villain moment. I've been expecting you. It'd be better if the squid was on my lap. Let's take it with me. I've been expecting you. Oh. I've been expecting you. My fluffy white cat is in fact a fluffy purple soldier squid. You feel like you'd pick something from Disney? Sounds like a good strat. Cannot go wrong with Disney. I'll make a man out of you. Literally the best karaoke song you can do. Right on Time, Tatsuro Yamashita. I've never heard that one. What's that? Say hello and welcome them. Even though it makes me uncomfortable, I want to make sure to be respectful. And if my parents want them to stay with us, then I have no issue with it. During this day, I pretty much stayed in my room. To be honest, I haven't interacted with them since that initial welcome. When I've seen my parents in passing, I always make some conversation and try to be a good housemate. I clean, I do the dishes, I don't rely on them for meals. I'm basically a self-sufficient raccoon in every respect except finances. Once I graduate next year, I'm going to move out and get a job in my field to become completely independent. As I mentioned earlier, I was out drinking until 6 a.m. last night and slept until about 7 p.m. Not great, not healthy, but it was my words. But it was for my birthday. So I thought, what the hell? My parents had a party at our house today and I slept through most of it. When I woke up, I had a paper to write, so that's what I did. Once I finished my paper, I went upstairs to get some leftovers. I saw my mum, so I said, hello, how's the party? She told me to sit down and that we needed to talk. Oh my gosh, I've got such like weird hiccups or whatever. I don't know, I'm breathing chips out or something. I'm not entirely sure. An anthem. Yeah, anthems are good. So I said, hello, how's the party? Blah, blah, blah. We need to talk. I did, and she asked why I'm so mad. I told her I wasn't mad. She said, then why are you such an asshole? Wow, that's 0 to 100. I asked why she would say that, and she said that I wasn't helping them entertain their guests. I don't think this is my responsibility. I'm an adult. I had an extremely busy week and made it through. I didn't have the energy to face my anxiety and interact with their guests. I apologized to my mom, but it wasn't enough. She ended up yelling at me, so I left. My mom has a drinking problem and was drunk, so not a huge surprise. But there is some truth to what she said. I haven't entertained their guests. I haven't interacted with anyone much this week, and I missed their party. So, Reddit, am I the asshole? My mom certainly thinks so. I think this is a pretty strong no. Curious to see what the comments say. This one doesn't seem too controversial to me. Yes, I agree. Ooh, bug. Oh my god, this bug. I don't know where bugs come from in this room. It fucking... I think it escaped. There's no debris on my hands. I think it escaped. The window is closed. Where do they come from? They seem to come from the window direction, but I can't tell where. They always like come from here-ish. Like there's a window in front of my face. I don't know where they're coming from though. Because like everything's closed. So irritating. So irritating. Start paying rent or get out, little bugs. Thank you. Wait, no, we're gonna use our pro strat. Why would you be responsible to entertain parent people? Yeah, nah. Okay, I think we're all pretty clear on that one. All right, well, actually, I've managed to hurt my voice from doing this. Shocking. Who could have thought? Not me at the start of stream or anything crazy like that. Ugh, almost as if a sore voice will only get sore if you do a stream where you're entirely just reading out things. It's crazy. That's insane in the membrane. Wow. Have a free boo laugh. Have a free boo laugh for all that insanity. Where's... Alrighty, well, without further ado, I'm gonna go take a bath in a million strepsils and via osmosis get my throat fixed. Oh, true, I forgot about the video. Alright, we're gonna react to Jordan's TikTok.
Okay, so
Wait, we're gonna take it back and I'm gonna make this quieter. Okay.
Okay, so I'm born and raised in Australia, and I don't know where this ridiculous like trend has come from that says that we pronounce the word no as nor. Obviously, we say no.
Okay, I always thought that this was ridiculous. I was like, literally no one says anything like that. But then the next day I was streaming and I like was dying to a zombie or some shit in Minecraft and I was like, no. And I was like, the realization, it hit me. It slapped me across the face. I was like, oh my God, I sound exactly like the meme. It's insane. It's insane. All right.
No, that's the way that everybody I've ever met in Australia ever says that word. And I just feel like this weird meme stereotype has got to go. Okay, so I'm born and raised in Australia.
Got to go. I don't think like we say it all the time. Like if you ask me a question, I just be like, no. Okay, that didn't help my case. I just like, no. No. No, I will not sit down to tea with the Queen. I say, no. 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 Does that still sound like no? No. No. Fuck, I'm having an actual existential crisis right now. How do I say the word no? No. I think I just say like no. But then if I'm like upset, I go no. No, you can't kill me, zombie. No. You know what else? No one in Australia has ever like unironically said, putting out the shrimp on the barbie. That is not a thing. We don't even call it fucking shrimp. We call them fucking, what are they called? Prawns. Prawns. Like in chess. Prawns. But alas, that's all right. The stereotype prevails. Hopefully one day we will get rid of it. Look at my little shark. How cute. Look at his little eyes. It's so cute. I love this shark. I don't know how to, I feel like when I show you guys, you can't really see it properly. Doesn't have a name yet. Unnamed shark. Just look how cute that is. I love it. Melt the prawns on the barbie. Molasses. Same with like yellow. I feel like sometimes, I feel like when I'm streaming, I sound a lot more bogan because I'm like talking a lot louder and more emphatically. Like if I'm talking in everyday life, unless I'm like telling a story, if I'm just chatting with someone, I'm probably not just like, no. You know, just like, no. But then if I'm streaming and somebody's trying to kill me, I'm like, no. You know? Does that make sense? I like context. Context matters. What's your favorite color? Yellow. Yellow. As opposed to, no, the yellow thing is trying to kill me on stream. I don't know. Does that make sense? Anyway, thank you everyone for coming to my very first and definitely not last YouTube live stream. I had a lot of fun. I hope you guys did as well. I'm going to spend the next 2 days until my next stream recovering my voice. I'm not entirely sure where to link my Discord for anyone who's new here. I'll just chuck it in chat, I guess. And I'll work on that later, where I'm supposed to put it. Maybe on the channel there's like a space for it. I don't know shit about shit. I don't know anything about YouTube. I don't know anything about anything. I hope you guys had fun doing my very first ever reaction to Reddit content. I'd like to do more react videos because I think that they're quite fun. It's fun to have things to bounce off in general, which is why I used to just stream with other people. Then I started streaming on myself, like on my own, but obviously I play games and things, but sometimes it's nice to shake it up by like reading something. It like gives you something to bounce off of. Hopefully you found it funny because I put this in the comedy category. I wasn't sure what else it was meant to go in. But yeah, later skaters. Have a good one. I'll see you again on Friday evening. Free Friday, which means I choose what to put there because I couldn't think of anything else that I would want to have on Friday that started with an F. So Free Friday it is, and I will see you all sometime soon. I'll respond to you on Discord joining. Bye everyone. Have a great evening. Thanks for coming.